Pregame.com.
The Pittsburgh Steelers visit the Dallas Cowboys. Steelers 2-point favorites. Totals 44. Tony Sinisi, this is the biggest Steeler-Dallas game since you and I were, I think, booking out of our pockets back in Pittsburgh. I was in Pittsburgh. You were in Altoona.
Hey, the angle here is the Steelers always beat the Cowboys.
Oh, is that good?
It doesn't matter if it's the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Very good. Tell us your reasoning. It's got to be a little deeper than that.
Yeah, no, honestly. I think these are two flawed teams. And even under the best of circumstances, and I like the Steelers here, I don't think they're going deep in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. What I like about the Steelers here is I think you're going to get a healthier Roethlisberger, a sharper Roethlisberger. I like Tomlin in the LeBeau angle over their counterparts. Dallas is 0-6 at home against the spread. There is character in that Pittsburgh organization the whole way through it. I don't think I see that with Dallas. I would rather, in this game that both teams need, I would rather go with the team with character, and I think that's the Steelers.
And you're right, both teams do need this. Both teams fighting for a playoff spot. Pittsburgh actually is in right now where the season to end today. Of course, it doesn't end today. They still have to go and play the Bengals, who they're fighting for that last playoff spot. Cowboys are about a game out right now. A lot of tiebreakers involved, too. VR.
Dallas has given us nothing but close games. 6 of their 7 wins have been by a touchdown or less. Tony touched on the fact that this team is not covered yet at home. We know that I think they've only covered twice in their last 15 or 16 home games. But now they're a home dog.
Yeah.
They're not being asked to. You're asking them to win, not cover. And that's the only question I have.
That's an excellent point.
Is that being factored into the price? Because, sure, they don't cover at home, but now all they have to do is win at home. And that's something they have been able to do. They just haven't been able to cover the spread. The only thing that worries me about Pittsburgh is this offense. They average 21.3 points per game. And that's against defenses that have allowed over 24 points per game. So being someone that has a future ticket on the Steelers at over 20-1, I want to see this team do well. But I just, with the injury to Roethlisberger, it seems like so many things are just derailing this team. When you really look at them piece by piece, they're just so talented. But can they get it together before the playoffs get here?
The injuries are a big key.
Of course.
Both corners are hurt for Pittsburgh right now. They didn't play all that well, certainly not last week. They didn't play well at all. You also have some offensive line problems, maybe solved a little bit. Number 1 draft choice, David DeCastro. It looks like he will start this week. They'll put him at the right guard position, and whoever's playing that spot moves over to his natural left guard position. That may help, it may not. I don't know. They've had some offensive line problems all year, which is one of the reasons why Roethlisberger took his usual beating this season. So I don't know. I do lean with Tony. I have to tell you. I was on Scott Spritzer's show our show, First Look, by pregame.com. And I gave the Steelers out as my best bet on that.
Okay.
I do like the Steelers. The injuries do scare me. I do like something that you said, Tony. They do have a lot of character. I think Tomlin knows that this is a huge game for them. Tomlin, LeBeau versus Garrett and Ryan. That's a huge coaching mismatch, right?
I agree. And as I'm not one that believes in traps. When you get 11-10, there's no reason you have to set traps. But offering Dallas at a home dog price, that to me looks like it's being invited for Dallas action, especially Pittsburgh coming off a loss against San Diego.
Tony?
But I agree with you guys. I mean, it's the Steelers here.
Okay. Well, we've talked about it. Let's go ahead and make it official.
Pittsburgh versus Dallas, and as I said earlier, it goes way back into the 70s with these two clubs. Sometimes you got to make the Major League Baseball analogy, and I'll make the analogy at starting pitching in this one, and it's Ben Roethlisberger versus Tony Romo. Romo, I just do not trust. And now all of a sudden you got Romo without one of his big receivers, Des Bryant. He's really got one guy he's going to throw to, and that's Jason Witten. You think Dick LeBeau's not going to figure that out. I think Pittsburgh's the side here, minus the 2.
Wow, you guys just got me on the Pittsburgh side, and he said something that just rang true in my head. Romo This is a primetime game, more or less. This is a big game.
Well, the whole country's going to be watching.
Exactly. And whenever he's been on the national stage, he's just choked.
I've seen him too many times.
He chokes. When it matters most, he chokes.
Sprawled out on the field, reaching for the ball that he has just fumbled.
Yeah.
It's always like one or two plays, but I hate to tell you, that's football. Usually turns on one or two
He'll
plays.
put up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Arizonas, but put him against a marquee team or put him on prime time, and it's 4 interceptions, and that's how he does it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Well, listen, we had a great time tonight. 9 videos we shot. We got the B team in tomorrow. Steve Fezzik actually joins the boys tomorrow, so it should be a good session for those guys. They won't do nearly as well as us. Come on, let's face it. But anyway, watch those guys. I'm glad you watched all of ours. Watch them again if you need to go over and take a few more notes. The B team in tomorrow, they'll have 9 videos themselves. Little college football. I don't think they're doing college football. They're doing college basketball.
Yeah.
And they're doing pro football. So watch them, even though not as good as us.
No, you ain't going to miss much.
Yeah, you can see all the videos at pregame.tv.